Yes, and it's unfortunate for those of us who are fans of Greg Rousseau and fans of the Miami Hurricanes football team. I mean, you talk about a young man who, as a redshirt freshman, 15 and a half sacks, 19, I think it was 26 TFL. I mean, just went berserk, going off of the edge for us as a strong side defensive end for the Miami Hurricanes. And you think defensive end at Miami is something that we've talked ad nauseum about being a position that we were super excited about. I mean, you got Greg Rousseau opposite of Quincy Roche. You got 30 sacks right there between two players. You also have a player in Jalen Phillips, who you go back to 2017 recruiting class, was number one or number two, depending on number one or number two player in the nation, depending on what recruiting cycle you're looking at and what recruiting site you like to use. He's also up to 265 pounds after transferring here and having wrist surgery. He was down to like 212, 220. Last year, a calendar year goes by, he's up to 265, ready to contribute for the Miami Hurricanes this upcoming season. So if there was a position in which that we can have someone opt out, I would say defensive end is one of them. And like I said, you kind of have a big picture landscape, and Coach Manny Diaz spoke about this in his presser yesterday, virtual presser, where he took questions on a Zoom. And he's saying, in this coaching industry, we care about the players as people. And Greg is opting out to do this for personal reasons. Now we have to go ahead and support him. And what I love personally as the host of him, he's letting them know a day before camp started. Camp started today, almost across the country. And it gives us a chance for Jahfari Harvey to step up, for Quincy Roche to step up, for Jalen Phillips to step up, for Chance Williams, for Quentin Williams, these other defensive ends who are on the Miami Hurricanes roster. What they have to do now is step up and have an opportunity to play more. So I think Greg is someone who is a locked-in first-round draft pick, whether you want to talk top 15 or top 20, top 30, whatever. He's a first-round draft pick, someone who put up 15 and a half sacks with all the upside that he does have as a raw defensive end. Somebody at the National Football League is going to take a chance on his size and athleticism. So we wish Greg the 100% absolute best. I have no ill will in my heart. And I ask that us as a fan base have no issue towards his decision either. He has family that works in the medical field, and he let that out as the reason why. That's not me. That's what he has said. And I believe that when you let a man make his own decisions, you got to keep going on your own path. That's his path. So thank you, Greg, for all that you've done, the 15 and a half sacks. Wish we could have given you a better season to match up with that. But, I mean, what a great player. And I can't wait to see him drafted in the first round in February.
In response to the Rousseau absence would be, you mentioned some defensive ends who need to step up, who could step up. You did also mention that, hey, between Quincy Roche and Jalen Phillips, that's not a bad place to be. Most teams across America would say, hey, even without Rousseau, we'll take those two at DN for us. Mm-hmm. But is there a particular guy, now that those guys should be, jumping at the opportunity for more playing time and saying, hey, this is my chance? You mentioned about three guys. Is there anyone in particular that you're very interested in seeing step up and make more of an impact at the end?
He wears number 12. He's about 6'4", 247 pounds right now. And his name is Jahfari Harvey. Listen, fellow Locks brother. But this young man, I don't know who his defensive line coach was in high school at Vero Beach, but when you watch his high school film, the moves that this guy was using, I'm like, whoa, like when you're usually the biggest guy on the field or one of the bigger guys, a marquee 4-star guy, you usually see them just flat out dominate, picking up guys, throwing them, huge big head, strip sack, and all that type of stuff. He had all the athleticism, but what you notice is that he's a technician too. I mean, there's plenty of times where I'm watching him simply just pick apart offensive tackles with realizing what type of set, just like I said, a soft or hard set, a quick set, or, that type of that. He's looking at that initially. He already knows what moves he's going to use. And he's just completely using moves before they're even able to punch him. Before they're even able to get their hands on him, he's already double swipe gone, sack. or even his plays where his effort has been tested. I mean, I remember when going to a practice last year, one of the two that I was privy to being able to attend. And he's standing next to Zach McLeod, who was a 4-year senior at the time. And he was becoming a redshirt freshman. Hadn't even put on his red shirt yet. And he was the exact same size as Zach McLeod, who's been here for 4 years. That type of production, that type of effort as an early enrollee defensive end, this is a type of young man. He is going to jump off the scene when he gets his opportunity. We got to see him play a little bit in La Tech. It was his first time playing. I believe he had 1 or 2 tackles in the game. He didn't jump off the screen just yet. But him being able to come in kind of like how John Garvin did in 2017 as a situational pass rusher. You come in, you got one job. Don't jump off sides. And as soon as that ball moves, you fly to the ball carrier. Just give us 100% effort. That way we can evaluate it and we can work on moving forward. But that's the type of stuff as far as laying the pillars to create a good program. It's when you got marquee 4-star guys like that doing number one thing, Mark, early enrollment. When they early enroll the very next semester, they're not contributors instantly. They're taking a red shirt. Beautiful 4-game rule for us nowadays. And it's any 4 games. It isn't just the first 4 games. And not only that, now year 2 in the system, as a redshirt freshman, he's a feature player, meaning he's coming in and playing certain downs, but he doesn't have to be an instant contributor. And by my research, year 3 is when you want those guys, redshirt sophomores or true juniors, to start contributing to your team at a high level. And that's what's going to happen with Jahfari Harvey, barring any injury, anything of that nature. But this year, I would keep an eye out for number 12 edge rusher Jahfari